Hey, yo. Last cup of coffee here today, I swear. Wanted to go over some things. This would be a good opportunity for any players who maybe don't know us. Maybe you're thinking about playing for me, us. Maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe you've heard some good things. Maybe you've heard some bad things. But let's just do a post game and see what you pick up from the post game. And let's see what the people that are laying it down for you are actually laying down and what you're picking up. So last night, we got a 7:30 Monday game for my guys. This is for my guys. This is a breakdown for my guys, but for other people to see, do you get it or not? Let's see. So my guys, two teams of them, show up to play. Some of them don't know each other. And we got the pitching set, 2 hours. The guy that I was working with before the game doing the ground balls, that was Mr. Lights and his children. You want to be nice to Mr. Lights and his children because that's the reason that we're on the field, right? So that's why it was the way that it was. Got some ground balls in before the game, and then I'm not going to use any names so that it's not specific. So you, the player, maybe you've played a game like this and you need this response, okay? But a couple of things. The game ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10 to 4, okay? But it's 5-0 in the first inning. Top of the first, 5 runs. We end up rolling the inning, which defenders, we rolled a couple innings. It's too many experienced players on the field to be rolling those innings. The defense has got to be better. There's got to be more just finishing plays, okay? Honestly, it's no good to be rolling innings at this point in the game. It's not like we got a bunch of guys that haven't been on the field. Part of the reason for that rolling the innings and the extra bases and the non-catchable balls is because the outfield, no lie, doesn't get ready, doesn't adjust, doesn't move, doesn't pre-pitch, doesn't do any of it. It's on video. We watched you all exposed from last night. Okay. And you know the hitters, you know the players that you're playing against for the most part. So when I'll use myself as an example, gets up, even though I'm long done, you better be on that right field line and the center fielder better be over in the gap. And if he hits it over here, he's only got so much juice. It's only going to go so far and do so much. So the wherewithal to not lock into that when you're playing a game for a guy that could sign you is disheartening, especially as we get closer to the actual carnage of the tour, what it's going to be. You're trying to earn a spot on the team. I mean, we got guys still, screaming F-bombs and throwing stuff. So, I mean, think about who I'm going to want to take with me. Right away, the outfield, the 4 guys we had, 3 guys, completely exposed. So that's why you're rolling innings. You're not in the right position. Somebody said, oh, what a bad route that this guy took to a ball. Yeah, well, he wasn't ready for it in the first place. That's why he's turning singles into doubles and doubles into triples. Anyway, aside from that, you got the 10-5 game, 5-0 in the first inning. Bottom of the first comes up. Team losing, runners on the corners. 3 hitters up, 3-1 count. For some reason, I think you guys are getting confused with when we need to get ahead and when we need to see more pitches and when we need to do this, but he pimps it. It's 3-2. It's fastball middle in. Okay, even though I am the scrappy, that guy, going that way guy, I'm hitting a 3-run homer there. 5-3 is the player I'm looking for. You're hitting in the 3 hole or whatever it is. We're early in the order. 3-run homer. It's 5-3. If you hit a sharp ball to third, you roll into 2. It was nobody out, I'm pretty sure. We still get a run. Even if you sack fly, we get a run, 1 out. Maybe the other guy moves, maybe not, but at least you do a job. You shut it down 3-1 and you completely forget the reason that you're training. You're training the swing to swing. The times not to swing are the times like for other guys, not this guy, but another guy I watched go out of the zone 3 times and the pitcher fell behind 3-0. So the kid basically threw 6 or 7 balls and we swung at all 3 of them. Like to be going that far out of the zone is a problem. And maybe that guy should be shutting it down and taking more pitches early, to pick the spots of the zone that he wants to work. You're not going to swing at the whole plate. You just want to swing at that thing that you can do damage on, and we're not doing it enough. Especially in a game that's sloppy and we already gave up 5 runs and whatever. I'm thinking, bang this thing, something's going to happen. But whatever, he shuts it down. He ends up punching out on a ball. Now, could have been salvaged, could have tried to get a run, but the guy from third ends up stealing home and basically getting thrown out. But we call him safe to keep it close. But really, think about what you just did. We took the 3-1. It wasn't a 3-run homer. We punched out of the zone, and then we got caught stealing. Can't wait to bring these guys with me. So you got to think ahead a little bit. Is this a good situation and why? Because of the scoreboard. Yeah, you're trying to show off and score, but what does the scoreboard say? The scoreboard is king. Okay, in that 5-0, okay, let's go back to the top of the first, how the team gets the runs off the lefty, because I think for the catchers who are calling a shitty game, I think, and the catchers who are not being verbal enough, and the pitchers who don't have enough of a plan, I've got to say, this is what I told the lefty. 3 things that I think could have completely changed his outing to give up a run or 2 in the trouble he was in versus give up 5 and roll the inning. The first thing I said was there was a chance when, and I don't remember the exact sequence. Let me look. Here you go. You got this guy hitting. He walks. Okay, this guy walks. You got both guys on the one guy takes third, so it's runners on the corners. Instead of throw over, because we're going to throw a breaking ball now because we still have the double play intact because it's runners on the corners, 1 out. We don't throw over. We throw a heater and the guy steals second. Okay? Second and third. Should have been throw over, hold, wear him down, breaking ball. Bore the guys to death. You're left-handed. If you get 1 out and the run scores, whatever, you minimize your damage. If you get 2, you're out of the inning, right? So then the guy steals second, it's second and third. So the first thing we need to do, catchers, is throw over because we're throwing a certain pitch. And if we're throwing a lot of heaters in that situation, that's the problem. Okay? So the game calling. Now, the second and third, I believe. I don't know what he did to Hurd. I think he threw 2 breaking balls in a row, something like that. Like, stay with it. You know, there was another at bat, 1-1. He throws a borderline breaking ball, really close, good pitch, ball. And then 2-1 pitches way out of the zone, fastball. Call another one there. We're in a situation to get a double play ball. We want them to put a ball in play. We don't want them to be, you know, all over the place. It's already not going the way we want it to go. So the game calling is huge, you know, for what we're trying to do for that lefty. I remember what it was. It was when Rodriguez got to second base, okay? We should have went slide step. We're already struggling with the strike zone. And the guy's going leg lift ball. Why not? You got a couple runners on now. You're behind the guy at second base. Why not slide step? Maybe we have a chance to get the guy out, but at least it changes the look. Maybe it gets Winks back on top of the ball, gets the ball out of the glove a little bit earlier, and we should be throwing like a change-up breaking ball as it is. If we want to throw a heater, that's fine, but out of the slide step, have a variation so it doesn't kill the catcher. We're not just looking wild, okay? And then I think the third thing was, I remember he punches a guy out on a breaking ball looking, Triana, boom, to start the inning. Okay, now Rodriguez comes up and gets in a plus count right away because we don't just hammer another breaking ball. Catchers, you got to be able to acknowledge what's working for a guy and what's not. Okay, bang, that worked, but it was a struggle to get there because honestly, I remember fastball, borderline up, he fouls it back. Next pitch, fastball, a little higher than that. He fouls it back again. This guy's gone out of the zone and both pitches are borderline. One's definitely a ball, so one's borderline. Then we throw hammer, bang, strike. Okay, get to the 2-hitter, 3-hitter. We're struggling. We're around the zone. Go back to that thing that works. Bang, bang. The guy's throwing 1 inning, maybe 2. Showcase setting. Help him succeed and help you succeed. The way you think about the game and call the game shows me the most of what I need to know about you. I'm sitting right behind you. I know what I would call. That just worked. Bang. So instead of the guy throwing 2 frames, he throws 1 frame and rolls it because we don't go back to bang. Now, that was the 2-hitter that we didn't go back to hammer time. By the time we were at the 4-hitter, we had to throw back-to-back breaking balls to try to get the ground ball. That's where the guys stole second and third. Once that happens, he walks that guy, loads the bases, strikes the guy out. 2 outs. That's when that 1-1 situation came up, and it was really good breaking ball, but just boom out of the strike zone if it was the screen ball. Really good pitch though. Maybe it might have been a strike. Throw it again. Then you get boom or boom or boom. You know what I mean? So you get that or you keep working with it. If the guy hits it out, you tip your cap. It's not like you're throwing any fastballs to hit anyway. So for the catchers and the pitcher, those things right there, I think completely changed that game. And it's not even 5-0. It's not even 5-3 after the first inning because we gave the guy the steal of home. But really, overall, fellas, the defense got to be better. We shouldn't be rolling any innings in this. Couple other things. The hitters with the big swings out of the zone. You know, it's time to really just be looking at one thing that we can do damage with because that's the problem that got you to the Black Sox in the first place was somebody told you could hit the whole plate and do whatever you wanted with it. And it's, it's not the case. Also, you're watching the kind of game it is. You know, you're seeing, I know this one guy, I don't know this other guy. The guys coming after throw a lot of strikes. So in the beginning, let's see what we can do and run the pitch count up. That's how you're going to win baseball games. You guys aren't going to win many games seeing 70, 80, 90 pitches, I promise you. Any at all. Okay? We talked about how bad the outfield placement was and the rolled inning defense. The last thing I'd like to say is just, especially for the catchers, calling the game for these arms, okay? Let's take the righty who was winning. He threw a couple of close pitches down, like here's the zone, boom, boom, one might have been a strike, and he's arguing those pitches. He wants those close pitches, right? Then at the end of the game, we flip that guy from one team to the other to get the at-bat against him. We know it's going to go 3-0. It goes 3-0. I'm surprised we didn't swing 3-0 fastball down the middle, but I would have thrown a breaking ball there. If I were you guys, you called a fastball, that's fine. He took it, 3-1. The hitter's missing out on his opportunity there. Rare opportunity, he gets a fastball there, 3-0. He should be showing off. He should know that it's 9:27 and it's time to show off, but he doesn't. He takes the 3-0. 3-2, I think he fouls it off, or it's another strike. I think he was taking it like confident. I think 3-2, he's like, boom. And then the full count is this far off the plate, but further off the plate, walks him by a lot. For the guy throwing a CG, basically, arguing those close pitches down there, end of the day, best guy you're facing, challenge, don't throw it down the middle, miss this far, wherever it is, and get the call. I'll bang him out because of you challenging him rather than you already fell behind 3-0. I'm surprised you threw what you threw to get back there. And then once you get back there, stay in the window, man. It's a showcase setting. You know, if it's a game and you got to live to fight another day, go ahead. But also, you're winning. It's the last inning. It's the last out. Even if he hits a grand slam or a 3-run homer, no, it was 3-run homer, I think it would have been, or I don't even know how many guys were on. It would have been 3-run homer. The game's 10-8 with one out to get to end the game. You know what I'm saying? So that's more the way that I'm thinking about the game. And when I watch you guys play, and I'm looking at both sides, man. I'm not just looking at individual players. I'm looking at the scoreboard because it always matters. I'm looking at, does the scoreboard matter? If we tell them the scoreboard doesn't matter, what will they do? You know, I'm looking at, little things like the field is wet, okay? The field is wet, so any throws that look like they might bounce from the outfield, man, we're cutting as the catcher or the infielder. You would be knowing that we're going to have to cut this. There's no way it's going to make it all the way to where we're going. Which brings me to two things I forgot. One, the small ball guy, okay? The circumstance is that it's wet and you're facing a guy that you faced before that you could make contact off of. If it's not a guy throwing 97, 98, 90 even, why do we need a bunt first pitch when we could work and get those pitches and help our side more and still get it down in the count that we want to? Instead, he bunts first pitch. It's not a great bunt. On a real field, we might have been in trouble, but because it is so wet, boom, you're in there. So knowing that it is that wet, think ahead a little bit and be like, this guy can't beat me, so why am I giving it away first pitch? Plus, if I get my swing off once in a while and I pull a ball foul or I try to hit a double, it's going to move them back for later in the game when I get the freebie. The freebie doesn't have to come right away. Then they're going to be up the rest of the game. You got to think about that. Another thing that this guy does is when he's bunting, all right, he's bunting and he's moving around a lot. Like it's a ball and he's like totally bailing. Like it's a ball and like stay there and be like, all right, I'm seeing it good. Don't see it to the point where the umpire calls it a strike, but sometimes I think the movement and getting out of the box and jumping out of the way might be why they call it a strike. I've been called a strike a lot of times, pimping a pitch, because the guy thinks I'm walking out of the box, which I'm not, and it's not a reason to call a strike either. It's a good way to start an argument, by the way. But anyway, on that bunting note, and then the one other note, I also told that same runner, the same bunter, and for all you guys, you got to establish who you're facing. Okay, is this the closer? Is this a nibble guy? Is this a soft lefty? Is this a cutter guy? What is this? Okay, this guy throws a lot of breaking balls and a lot of strikes and a lot of balls. He runs the pitch count up and he gets guys out late in the count by wearing them down. Honestly, it's amazing. Knowing that the guy throws 40, 50% breaking balls or not fastballs, or more than that, honestly, we should be, when we're stealing the bag, looking. Because it's not like he's throwing 93 and the guy's going to be throwing 93. I want to see what happens around the plate so I could have an opportunity. There was a ball that bounced. The guy could have had third base. Know who you're running against. Know who the pitcher is and what his tendencies are pitch-wise, so it's easier to pick a pitch to go. So it's more likely that you're right. So that when it is a bounce ball or a block ball or whatever that it is, you know. Because guess what else happens with a lot of these? line drives and balls hit right at guys in contact. So you want to be looking as the ball crosses the plate. Another thing, the guy throws this many pitches like this, you also want to stay in the baseline a little more. I see these guys getting so wide at third, wide at second. Like, why? You're looking for a straight line, and this guy throws this. So on the block that's 3 feet out, because you get the good read and the good jump, and your eyes are 6 to 8 feet in front of the plate when the ball crosses, it's down, and you just take off. Now look what your brain is doing for you rather than having to do everything physically. So anyway, I went in. This was my card, and I ended up doing a lot. So, but. Not a bad effort last night. We ended the game on a tremendous physical play. A catch, guy hoses a guy at the plate to end the game. I told him to go. The guy was in and right. I wanted to see the arm. Great. But earlier, that same guy took a running start and tried to fire a ball from like left center to home. He should have just thrown it to the guy in front of him. Nothing beats 2 90-mile-an-hour throws, bro, and the guy's got to go 180 feet. And then, or whatever it was. And then also, the swings out of the zone come from the same guy. So the physical... great. Mentally, we need to lock in. You're not going to get signed. You're not going to get to where you want to get to consistently, at least, with just the physical approach. The mental stuff weighs way more. Yeah, I know you can catch the ball and throw the guy out by a lot when we're coming in and you have the best arm in the field. Yes. But when the ball's out there in the middle of nowhere and it looks like the guy's rounding, like in what world did we throw the ball from the fence to home plate? Like maybe a couple of guys had done it. Great. Vladdy Guerrero, awesome. And the guy does have that kind of arm. You do have that kind of arm. But what should we do? Zoom to the shortstop. Now the coach is the guy that stops the guy, not the runner. And you have to understand those points of the game if you want to continue to progress. All right? If you like this kind of stuff and you want to join us or you want to hear more, hit subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Be around. Scout Day's coming up in the Northeast. We could chat it up there, man. More importantly, we can get some work with some quality people on the field, and we can get a physical aspect and maybe a mental aspect of what we're talking about together. And maybe you do take a trip to South Florida or join us on the tour or whatever that it's going to be. But take that knowledge, put it in your back pocket. All you guys, I want to see you down here soon. We got fish to fry. And if you're not, and if you're in one of those other places, watch how their verbiage changes. Watch how the verbiage changes, because to get here, I had to listen to other people. I had to listen to the people that I was following around to teach me. I wasn't trolling them, but I promise you some verbiage is going to change up in some other places. Enjoy.